Hey everyone, Stark here. Guess what? On January 24th, 2023, we hit 100 subscribers. And that's something I never thought would happen. So I sat here and I questioned in my mind, what do I want to do for a 100 video? I'm too small to really do a giveaway, but I want to do something special to kind of commemorate this moment. So I said, what if I did an About Me video that will, stand the test of time and and when people come to my channel see, well, what kind of person is Stark? Well, who is he? And get to know a little bit about him, right? So I thought, what if I did 100 questions for a video? So yeah, we're gonna go through 100 questions. Thing has it right here. Excuse me, Thing. Um, So 100 questions Thing has given us. And there are all kinds of About Me questions. Some have come from viewers. Some have come from my friends who just kind of want to get to know me better. So, if you have another question, leave it down below and in a comment section, and I'll get to it when I can. But again, I wish more people would do stuff like this because we get to know each other a little better. So the first question is, why start a YouTube channel? And I mean, there's no particular length in the answer to these questions, but I started a YouTube channel when me and my friends started to play video games, obviously. And we were playing Friday 13th, and we were having fun, and these little glitchy things was happening, and all this stuff, fun stuff was happening. And I said to myself, well, what if I recorded them? Made little videos. And not just videos for, let's say, for the sake of other people watching it, but for us to look back and record and laugh. There was one time when my friend Mongo Slade, he was Jason, and he hit the car, and the car, off the map, and so little things like that. And the very first video that actually made it. And I didn't rehearse these, so this is raw footage of just getting to know me, and I hope you do the same because I'd love to get to know you too. But our first video that made it in a lot of viewers, more than just like one or two, was there was a certain rock, and if Jason grabbed you, if someone hit him with a bat, he just start slowly flying in the sky with the person he was holding, and so that was just something that I wanted to go back and look at these memories because again, as you get older, memories fade, and I just want to have something to look back at. And so I was talking to some of my streaming friends, and I said, what if I start streaming? Instead of just making these little chintzy videos here and there, I just still want to do little videos here and there. What if I streamed games and, got to meet people and stuff? So that was kind of like my motivation of starting the channel. I'm not expecting to be the next Markiplier or anything like that. I just want to have a small community of friends, and I've done that so far. I've technically reached my goal, but to have 100 people subscribe to you, it's amazing. Number 2, who is my celebrity crush? Well, funny enough, if you watched me and Lizzie play recently, Wheel of Fortune, I've released that information. My celebrity crush is, in fact, Jessica Alba. She is so pretty. She is so fine. Number 3, how would you rate your childhood from 1 to 10? My childhood was about a 3 or a 4. I didn't have the best childhood. My dad left before I was born, and my mom left when I was 3. My grandparents raised me, so yeah, I am a little old school. I am from the South. I didn't become the next sports protege that my grandfather wanted me to be, so he kind of, we didn't have a close relationship, but I am very close to my grandmother, and so it wasn't the best childhood. It wasn't the worst. Obviously, there could be a lot worse, but I didn't know who my parents were for the longest, and kids can be mean. They started rumors about me. At one point they were saying I killed him. I was wanted. Mean things that kids say, and so it was hard. And then when I was 15, Mom came back into my life, and we talk. Obviously it's a weird relationship. My dad came back into my life when I was 26, and it was rocky. We didn't get along real well, and that's a story for maybe another time, or maybe even another question. What's my middle name? Well, if you follow me on social media on Twitter, you will know that my middle name is Matt. But please call me Stark. What are my favorite values in friends? Loyalty and honesty. I cannot stand liars. Lying is a very big pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it. Number 6. What is my funnest memory from high school? Uh, there's a lot of things in high school that I'm gonna be honest with you. uh, we got in some trouble. We used to be very mean to each other. I was in band, and uh, some of my friends were really into horror movies. But the funniest thing that's ever happened to me is I'm not big into sports, and there was this one friend who was an obnoxious Auburn fan, and I made a bet with him. And since then, I have never made another bet on a ball game. I am so sorry. I'm still recovering from being sick this week. That's why this video is taking so long to come out. It's been thing after thing after thing. So, anyways, I made a bet, and I don't like making bets, but this one time I said I'm so sure Alabama's going to beat Auburn this year. I said, whoever loses has to wear a dress at school. So he shook on it. Alabama lost that year. I dreaded that next day. And my friend came to school with this big crimson dress. And I had to wear it. Now, the reason why I'm telling you I was in band is because I played the tuba. And that included the school day, too. Excuse me. Drink. That included the school day, too. So the band director was mad at us because we weren't hitting our spots the way we were supposed to. He told us to stand at attention, 10 hut. And as I'm standing at attention, the wind's blowing, and my dress is just flapping in the wind. And the band director, he just starts laughing. He could not keep a straight face. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. But that's one of the funniest memories. What's my favorite holiday? If you don't know, then why are you here? It's Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Halloween is a holiday where people can just have fun. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, and so forth. You can dress in a costume, just be you. Have fun, And people who are like, oh, it's a satanic holiday. No, it's not. It's just people having fun. The more fun, it's just innocent. What's my best trait? I'm loyal. I try to be loyal. Number 9. What is my favorite restaurant? Anything good Chinese. I love Chinese food. That is my weakness. Number 10. What is an interesting fact about me? Alright, so let me think about this. This might be interesting. I don't know. My favorite movie of all time fluctuate between Blues Brothers and the Ghostbusters, right? And so I was born June 10th, 1984. Ghostbusters came out June 8th, 1984. So it's like right on the cusp. My favorite movie came out around the same time. It's me. Number 11. What's the first thing you notice about people? That's a hard one because the first thing I notice about somebody is their posture. As a security guard, you learn to look for those kind of things. But someone's body posture tells me a lot about them, and I can pretty much know about something about you within the first couple of seconds of meeting you. Number 12, Nintendo versus Sega. Now, young Matt would have said Sega all the way. Older Matt does like Nintendo a little bit better. Um, there's more games for Nintendo that I enjoy more. Obviously, Castlevania, Mario, and the sorts. I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. Again, grew up with my grandparents. They didn't understand video games, but they would get me video games, for like a Christmas item or something. So I remember my mom had actually gotten me the Nintendo, but my grandparents got me Sega instead of Super Nintendo. So that that kind of swayed me for a little bit, but I was always jealous of Super Nintendo growing up. Number 13, did I go to college? Yes, I went to college. Originally, I went for art, and I wanted to get into theater makeup. I wanted to do like movie prosthetics and stuff like that. Ironically, that kind of swayed me into photography, and then when I went to UNA, I ended up taking criminal justice because I wanted to be a behavioral analyst and forensic scientist. Unfortunately, in a little town like this, there's not much room for it. So, yeah, I'm a security guard. way to waste a degree, right? Number 14. How long was my longest relationship? If you're talking about dating, Laura, Lizzie Bell, 13 years strong. Number 15. What would I or have I named my children? Me and Lizzie talk about this a lot. We do want to have children. We've been trying to have children. Unfortunately, it's been a process. But if I have a boy, I would like to name him William Parker, and if it's a girl, Daphne Rose. But now, future Matt, you have evidence of this. Lizzie says if we have twins, Luke and Leia, it is destined. Alright, number 16. What was/is my favorite subject in high school? Science. Science was always my favorite, but math was a close second. Let me tell you why math was a close second of mine. Because I'm decent at math, right? And in high school, we had this teacher, and she would always put 3 problems on the board. And it was always one of those, you get to go to class for like 5 or 10 minutes, go to lunch, and then come back and actually have class. So me and 2 other students proved that we knew how to do it, so we could kind of, loaf around during class. Well, she had a computer in the back of her room, and we would play ROMs and other stuff on her computer. That's kind of how I kind of learned about emulations and stuff, because we would constantly be bringing in. And I remember the jocks being so mad at us because they were like, "Well, why did I get to?" Well, we knew it. We proved it. Even our test scores proved we knew the stuff. So she would let us goof around, and I felt bad for her because the jocks always gave her a hard time. Number 17? What was my first gaming system? The Atari. My mom, I guess, was somewhat of a gamer. I really don't know that much about her, but I have the Atari, or had the Atari. It had Pac-Man, Frogger, and a few other games. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. Number 19. What is my favorite ice cream flavor? Cake batter. Cake batter. Number 19. What was my first job? Now, my first unofficial job was working with my grandfather. So he built houses for a living, and I would help him during the summer, whether it's cutting wood, picking up blocks, picking up trash. Now that my first official job, I worked at a movie rental place called Family Circus Video, and it was a really cool place to work, except for I was fired for being a guy. Yeah. The official reason I was fired was I was playing around. Um, I was I used my computer to show old man the difference between widescreen and full screen, and the lady fired me because I was playing on my computer instead of doing my job. And then hired one of my high school friends and told her that the reason I was fired is because she wanted woman all woman squad. So guess what? You got told on, but I can't prove it. So karma got her though. But I love that job because when someone came in, you offered a welcome to family circus video, and you offered them a small drink, which was like a little small soda fountain behind me. We could drink as much as we want as long as we made sure that it was full, and a little small bag of popcorn, like a very small bag. So after work, I worked nights. So afterwards, when I cleaned the popcorn thing, instead of throwing it away, I would just take it home and eat popcorn, like a big trash bag of popcorn. And you could watch any movie as long as it wasn't new and rated R. So like, it was my dream job because as we were, checking people in and out, we could watch movies, and I got to watch a bunch of movies because of that job. Number 20. What is the first item on my bucket list? I would love to visit Japan. I just think they have an interesting culture, and I would love to visit there one day. Number 21. What was my favorite games growing up? Let me think about this. Growing up, obviously, Mario one and two and three was a big heavy hitter on my list. Castlevania was big on the list. Mega Man was big on the list. There was Ninja Turtles was big on the list. I had a bunch of one-player games at that time. I did have Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, and the funny thing about that is, even though it's two players, I hated playing two players because player two would always become a hindrance. But yeah, I think the Mario games, if I had to pick one specific, the Mario games was my favorite growing up. Number 22. Have I been to any concerts or festivals? I've been to tons of festivals. Interesting fact about me, my very first concert was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Coming Out of Their Shells tour. My grandmother took me to that. And fun fact about me is I was in the second row, and Leonardo came out to the crowd, was shaking people's hands, and my grandmother wanted me to shake Leonardo's hand. I was too scared. I was terrified, so I never shook his hand. I've been to all kinds of concerts. So, number 23. If I could change one bad habit of mine, what would it be? I am a huge worrywart, as they call it. I try to think of all possibilities. Unfortunately, I'll focus on the negative one, but that's just something that happens to me. Number 24. What is my most memorable childhood moment? Something that has always stuck with me was there's two things that stick with me. With my grandmother, there was one birthday where we couldn't have a party, and she took me out to Taco Bell for my birthday dinner, and it was just me and her, and she took me to Walmart and let me pick out a game. The game I picked out was Star Wars for Game Boy, which was A New Hope at the time, but it just said Star Wars on it. And I loved that game. In fact, I wish I still had that game. Unfortunately, one of my ex-fiancés, dad, stole my Game Boy games, and I lost a bunch of them because of him. So, thanks. The second one is my great-grandmother. We used to have a very close relationship with my great-grandmother, and she would watch Wheel of Fortune and let me lay in her lap as a kid, and she would trace her finger on my back while singing church hymns. So it's something that just kind of stuck with me, to feel loved, Number 25. What are my pet peeves? Lying. I cannot stand lying, and being blamed for something I didn't do. That is like, I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Number 26. What is a popular game that everyone loves that I dislike? Fall Guys. I cannot stand Fall Guys. It is dumb to me. But if you like it, hey. But I cannot stand it. Number 27. Do you have any pets? When I hit 100, I did have a pet. Unfortunately, she passed away last week, and that's why I took a week off. Her name is Cookie. She was a long-haired Syrian hamster, and she was the color of cookie dough. So me and Lizzie decided to call her Cookie. We now have a second hamster, Biscuit, and we're kind of trying to get used to her, Again, hamsters have a lifespan of 2 to 3 years. Living in an apartment like this, it's kind of hard to have bigger pets. If you have a dog or a cat, it's a $500 deposit, which is kind of hard to do. And we tried to have a guinea pig one time, but Lizzie's allergic to it, and that resulted in an almost $500 charge to the emergency room. Number 28. How many siblings do I have? That I know about? 2. I have 2 half sisters. One named Brittany and one named Ashley. Excuse me. My goodness. Number 29. Do you prefer the city or the country? That's a tough question, because living where I live, it's not quite the country, but if you compare it to New York, then yes, it is the country. I have a love-hate relationship with it, because in one aspect of it, I like the quiet of it, but on the other aspect, I hate the fact that I have to drive 45 minutes to go to a theater or like Target or something. Alright, number 30. What is my gaming history? Gaming history is pretty much like everybody else's. When I was growing up, obviously the Mario's turned into Sega, which was Sonic the Hedgehog, Eternal Champions, Aladdin, Street Fighter 2, X-Men, just a few of those games. Jurassic Park. Fun story, I used to be terrified of Jurassic Park the game. That T-Rex terrified me as a child. And then that went into PlayStation 1. Let me take that back. Rewind. N64, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5. Xbox here and there. But the game series my gaming history, like I've played just about everything at this point. I even have a Dreamcast and Jaguar and stuff. I just have it packed away. Number 31. What social media platform do I use the most? I use Twitter a lot. I used to never use social media. I don't like it because I feel like people use it to attack each other. And I've always said, you have a choice. You can be thread or you can be a divider. It's your choice. I'd rather be thread and heal and get to know people. So I use Twitter a lot now. I have a Facebook. I don't use it as much because when I did have it, well, I still have it, but when I did use it, some people used some stuff I posted on there against me, and it really hurt my feelings. So I'm careful about what I post now. But if you want to get a hold of me, I have just about everything. 32. What is the one thing I wish people knew about me? I don't know. I guess ultimately I'm just here to make friends. Living in a small town like I live, there's not a lot of geeky people. and some of the geeky people here are kind of snooty. I just want to meet people like me, and I think that's one of the beauties of social media is, you know, meeting people who have the same interest as you. Uh, there's so many people, so many friends I made on this platform, on YouTube, on Twitter, on everything that are just kind of not perfectly like me. Obviously, I wouldn't want that on anybody, but who have the same interest. Like, there's people out there like you, and I think that's cool to get to meet them through, like, just a name drop, Omega, Slonko Bomb, Gamer Thumb Television, stuff like that. Like, it's nice to meet these people. But hey, I'm not asking to be famous. I'm looking for friends. Number 33. When was the last time I embarrassed myself? Let me think about this. When was the last time I embarrassed myself? Well, if you watch my videos, anytime I play a horror game. I mean, honestly, I was playing the mortuary assistant, which I'm going to get back to eventually, and yeah, scared me. Number 35. What's my morning routine? I get up at 5 a.m. I look at my phone. I groan. I wish Lizzie a good morning, and I get ready to go to work. Unless it's the weekend and I sleep in. Number 36. How would I describe my fashion sense? I think it's pretty good, right? Yeah? I don't know. I feel like yeah. Number 37. What's my favorite book? My favorite book. Let me say something. And I don't remember these questions. Again, I wrote them down weeks ago. So again, it's like fresh on my mind. My favorite book. Growing up, my favorite book was the Spider-Man comics because it helped me. It helped me through the process of not having parents. You know, Peter was raised by his Aunt May, and it helped teach me that it's okay to not to have that family system that, you know, people show, you know, on TV and stuff. Like, everything's going to be different, but it's going to be okay. So I guess that's Spider-Man books. Number 38. What are my hobbies? I like to draw. I like to record. I like to play games. I like to create. I do theater. I used to do a lot of theater work, but I try to do theater work when I can. That's actually how I got the name Stark. Funny enough, we were doing Big River, and we were having a hard time building the raft for Big River. And I remember me and a few of my friends stayed over, and we measured it, built it from scraps that we found around upstairs. And the director came in the next day and said, "Oh, we finally got it done. Stark here built it in a cave with a bunch of scraps." And so that's the nickname I got, Stark. So yeah, from Tony Stark. What inspires me? A lot of people inspire me. My wife inspires me. I do believe in God. People inspire me. I believe we can work toward loving each other and being good people. I grew up on Star Trek, and I believe that we can work together for common goals. We just gotta stop being so divisive. Number 40. What's my favorite color? Red. Red and blue. Number 41. What is my coffee order? None. I do not drink coffee. I do not like coffee. Number 42. What was your dream job as a child? An actor. Number 43. What phone do I have? iPhone 11. Number 44. What is my favorite TV show quote? A TV show quote. It's a blessing and a curse, Monk. I don't know. Number 45. How many countries have I traveled to? Zero, but I'd love to. I've traveled to a lot of states. I've never been outside the U.S., but I'd love to. Number 46. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? Um, just to name them off my head: Gamer Thumb Television, Art Sensei, Slonko Bomb Gaming, Omega Ace Gaming, Dr. Woofula. I do watch Markiplier, Game Theory, Game Grumps. Trying to think of more. Like, I watch more YouTube than I actually do television, so it's kind of crazy. I remember this question now. Number 47. Why horror? You know who you are, and I remember who asked this. Why horror? Because it's fun. Why horror? So let me premise some things. I watched my first horror movie when I was 3. Mom had a boyfriend over, and I'd fallen asleep in her lap, and she would watch scary movies with her boyfriend. So I was introduced to it at a young age. And so, like, it's something that's always kind of been there with me. And the thing about horror is, it's a tale about good versus evil, right? And I like it when the good guy triumphs, you know? And when the killer wins, I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever, you know? But yeah, it's still good versus evil. And it's fun to be scared. There's an exhilaration that overcomes you. But it's always intrigued me, especially like the makeup side of it. Like, when I watch a horror movie now as an adult, I don't look at like, oh, you know, it's a real monster. I'm like, well, how did they do this? You know, how did they weather the clothes? How did they make it look like that? Again, it was something that fascinated me growing up. I almost went into stuff like this. I taught myself out of it. But yeah, like, horror is fun. I love Halloween. I used to work at a haunted house. I would love to tell you stories of that haunted house. I want to get Mongo Slade in for a video and talk about our haunted house experiences for you guys. I'd love to get back into doing haunted houses, but unfortunately, this shoulder had to have repair. My back had to be repaired, and my leg is not as strong as it used to be. So it's kind of hard to stand there for hours upon hours and hours and hours. But we'll see what happens. But horror has always been fun. And then, as in terms of being a YouTuber or a content creator, I was doing a VR game that is horror, and it started getting me noticed. And I noticed when things scare me. And let me tell you something. Every scream you see is legit. As real gets. It is genuine. Because I have these headphones on. I crank up the sound. And so when something booms or screams or something, like, ugh, that's all legit reaction from me. And yes, it is terrifying. But why horror? Because it's fun. It's fun. It's addictive. Number 48, do you prefer tea or coffee? Neither. I don't like tea, I don't like coffee. Number 49, what is the first thing I do after going home from work? If Laura's home, I'll give her a hug. If I'm home alone, I'll sit in this computer chair, lean back, you know, just relax. Just take a breather. 50. What sports did I play? I played baseball. I played basketball. And then when I grew up to be a teenager, none. Done. Number 51. What's my favorite movie? Were you paying attention? I already answered that. Blues Brothers, Ghostbusters. They swap back and forth. My favorite movie of all time is those movies. Number 52. What are my favorite animals? I love hamsters. I love pigs. I love cows. I love otters. It's weird, but I like them. Number 53. Do you like dogs or cats? I like both, but I prefer dogs. Dogs are more loyal, and I'm not allergic to dogs like I am cats. Number 54. PC or Mac? I've never had a Mac. All I've had is PC. That's all I can go by. 55. What book changed my life? I mean, obviously, I told you about the Spider-Man book. The X-Men comics showed me that just because you're different doesn't mean you're a bad person. You know, I wish more people got into that. And the Bible. You know, I don't talk about my faith much because I don't want to ever feel like I'm shoving it down someone's throat. But the Bible. Number 56. What theme parks have I been to? I've been to a lot. Universal, Disney, Six Flags, Cedar Point, all kinds, Dollywood, you name it, I've been there. Number 57, what is my favorite drink? Omega. Come on. Omega. Number 58. Do you have any favorite? Oh, do you have any quirks? Have you ever seen Monk? I'm very quirky, like Monk. Not as bad as him. As you can see, my office is a mess. I need to clean it up. But yeah, I have a small CD. 59. What Harry Potter house am I? Ravenclaw. Number 60. What is my nickname? Start. I told you why. 61. What is my go-to fast food order? Currently, it is either a chicken sandwich from Bojangles, a grilled chicken sandwich from Bojangles, or the mozzarella burger from Wendy's. Oh, chef's kiss. 62. New York pizza or Chicago? New York. 63. Who is my favorite actor? Dan Aykroyd. I liked him in Ghostbusters. I like him in Blues Brothers. Yeah. Number 64. My favorite gaming mascot. Ooh. Kirby's adorable. I know this is a basic answer, but I like Pikachu. Pikachu's adorable. 65. What is my favorite thing to do when I have free time? Also, if you don't know, I like to read. That's another hobby. I love reading. What is number 66? This is a dirty question. Favorite Lizzie Sweet's treat? So, my favorite Lizzie Sweet thing she ever makes is her German chocolate cake. I am a sucker for that thing, and she makes it from scratch, and it is absolutely wonderful. Chef's kiss. Now that I've said this, you have to make me one, Lizzie, if you've made it this far into the video. Number 67, how many girlfriends / boyfriends have I had? A lot. A lot. I wouldn't say I'm a player, but a lot. But I'm dedicated to Lizzie. No more. I'm off the market. Sorry, ladies. Am I open for collabs in the future? Yes. Just message me. We can play something together. Like, I am not against collabs. I absolutely love it. I like it when people come together. Number 69. Do I collect anything? No, I don't collect anything at all. I collect toys. I collect I collect movies, I collect toys, I collect books, knickknacks. I blame my aunt for this. Uh, Number 70, my single or taken. Oh, I'm very much taken, happily taken. It'll be 12 years in June. What year was I born? I already answered that. 1984. Number 72, how tall am I? I am 6'1". I am a giant to some people, and then yet I've had people make me feel small. 73, if I could live anywhere, where would it be? I don't know. That's a good question. Where would I want to? I would want to live somewhere that's just like where I wouldn't have to drive so far to go to stuff. I already told Lizzie if I lived near a movie theater, you'd never see me again. One fun thing about me, when I was a kid, they used to have this movie theater where all the movies would cost $1. And so what I would do is I would look in the paper, clip out the times from the newspaper to show kind of how old I am, and I would circle the times. Like if I could see this movie at this time, to see this movie at this time, blah blah blah. Buy all my tickets up front. Buy the drink for the first showing. Stay in the theater all day because you get free refills. It was a win-win situation. Just spend my whole day because I wasn't dating anyone at the time. So my friends didn't really want to hang out with me at the time. Just hey, waste my day at the theater. So I've seen a lot of movies doing that. Number 74, who is my role model? Spider-Man. Sure, why not? Let's be serious. Role model. Anyone who has overcome, a bad situation, you're my role model, and I'm honest about that. Trust me when I know what I can say is like how bad it can be, and how life can get you down sometimes. But to be able to overcome it and say I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna be better. Hey, respect. 75. What's my idea of a dream date? I'm just a basic B. I'm dinner in the movie kind of guy. 76. What are some of my favorite TV shows? I like The Flash. I like Monk. I like to watch a bunch of game shows. Masked Singer. I watch wrestling. I like mysteries. All kinds of fun stuff. What's my favorite store? A comic book store. Do I have any allergies? Yes. Cats. Shellfish, aspirin, whatever's blooming outside right now. That's why I have this. Number 79. What is the most important decision I've made so far? I married Lizzie. Number 80. Which of my parents do I resemble? For the longest, I wouldn't keep facial hair because when I had a goatee, I looked like my dad. But people say I look more like my mom, so Number 81. What is something that's always made me smile? Lizzie. Lizzie's always made me smile. Even if we're mad at each other, I'm still thankful to have her. Number 82. What's the greatest struggle I've ever faced? Emotionally, my parents. It was very hard to understand how someone could look at their child, and this is talking about my dad. Dad looked at me when I was born, shrugged his shoulders, and said, "Well, if you need anything, just call me." And that was it. Never saw him again. Mom chose a boyfriend over me, left me with my grandparents. It was hard to overcome. Physically, this right here. I had to have a slap repair, rotator cuff surgery. My labrum was torn, ligaments were torn, everything had to be repaired. It was a absolute nightmare to get back. But you know, I had friends. I had Lizzie, and I'm very thankful. 83. What's the biggest risk I ever took? This, doing YouTube. I mean, I I bought a computer. I spent a lot of money on the computer, and I said, you know what? If I don't take a chance on myself, no one else is going to. And that's my advice to you: take a chance on you because no one else is going to. I'd rather give it my all, fail, and be like, well, at least I tried. Also, just getting married. Marrying Lizzie. Not, she's not a bad person. She is a wonderful person, but it was hard to trust again. So I do have abandonment issues mentally, and not just because of my parents, but two failed engagements where two people cheated on me, and it was hard to trust again. Um, what is the most ridiculous nightmare I've ever had? This is actually a funny one. So, it was me and my friends, and we were walking down a dirt road. And every once in a while, Jason Voorhees would pop up and kill, not stab, stab, but like grab one of my friends and drag him off into the darkness. And we knew it was happening, but we couldn't stop it. And basically, the purpose behind the dream was all my friends were getting married except for me, and I just felt like I was getting left behind because I was the only friend left at the end of that dream. Um, explain an inside joke you have with a friend. So, back when I first started streaming, uh, Omega came to my streams. I've always been very appreciative of him coming by, and he was. It's hard to see chat sometimes because I use my phone for chat, and I did a. I was. It's a quick time game. Batman, the Telltale series is a quick time event, so you have to focus on what's going on, while at the same time, focus at what chat's saying. So, um, he goes, in spite of everything. I said, what? You're out of Sprite? And it's been a running joke ever since. And we joke around saying the reason why Harvey Dent became Two-Face is because they were out of Sprite. So, yeah, that was like an inside joke. And obviously, y'all know about Cartwheel Club. If number 86, if you could choose one superpower, what would it be? Teleportation. I'd get in trouble. Number 87, describe your most eccentric family member. My Aunt Grace. Let me tell you something about my Aunt Grace. Unfortunately, she's passed away now. But my Aunt Grace used to be a person who just loved life. And she loved to have fun, and she beat to her own drum. My collection habit comes from her because she would collect knickknacks and all this kind of stuff. She took me to auctions as a child. She took me to country dancing, which, if you know me, I'm from Alabama. And country dancing would be a bunch of these hillbillies getting together and just kind of, buck dancing and all this kind of weird stuff. And as a kid, every old lady wanted to dance with me. And anyways, I learned that from her. We'd be at Walmart and the song would be playing on. She would just dance in the aisles and stuff. She would just have fun. She'd be silly. And so I took a lot of that from her. And so, it's funny how we become like the people we kind of idolize in a sense. Number 88, what's my strongest irrational fear? Snakes. I hate them. I hate snakes. Number 89, can you tell us an embarrassing story? Gather around, boys and girls. So, I can't believe I'm telling this one. Alright. So, Let's paint the picture. It's high school. It's a Sunday night, and we rented a pay-per-view. I don't remember which pay-per-view it was, but it's back when you had to get the cable box from your local provider, screwed it in, and it feeded the pay-per-view through it. Wrestling, WWE, or WWF at the time. And so it didn't come through. And I had a bunch of friends over. So we all got into my friend's truck and we started riding around. Now, 3 in the front, about 5 of us in the back of the truck, in the bed, riding around, hooting and hollering, just cutting up, having a good time. Well, we went down a dark alleyway, and my friend ends up hitting a trash can, and it gets stuck in his tire, and it screeched, you know, and he backed up and left it there, and I was like, what did you just do, right? So we're headed back home, and we're a little far away from home, and police lights behind us. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Well, you need to come with us. Why? In a town not too far from us, probably about 5 or 10 minutes away, there's some boys in a truck smashing people's mailboxes. Guess who the police thought it was? Wasn't my truck. I was sitting in the back in the back bed, not smashing mailboxes. They tried to pin that on us. They couldn't prove it. So they did the worst thing ever. Call your parents. Well, of all my friends, I'm the one who got off very easily. My great-grandfather was assistant police chief, and my grandmother was super embarrassed having to come get me at the police station. And so it's embarrassing because we got punished for something someone else did. And I'll never forget, because to this day I haven't seen one of those friends. I'm pretty sure he's dead. You might want to check the police reports or something. I think his mom might have killed him. But she was turning so red. I remember she'd be so mad. My punishment was call your mother and tell her what you did. So I called Mom. Hey, the police picked us up. They thought we were doing this. We didn't. Don't do it again. Okay, bye. Hang up. It's embarrassing because I don't like being blamed for something we didn't do. We did not do that. I can tell you other stories, but let's just leave it at that. Number 90. What songs are on the soundtrack of my life? I can tell you one song. Elton John's I'm Still Standing. Through all the adversities in my life, I'm still here. You're not going to take me down. Sorry. Number 91. What is the best Halloween costume I ever wore? Ooh. Darth Vader. Number 92. What is the most ridiculous thing you believed as a kid? There's 2 things I can tell you. Number 1, this happened to the same place. So where my grandparents currently live, when we moved into that house where my grandparents live, they have a big picture window, like in their living room, and you can see it from the road. You can see in perfectly. Now, we just moved in. There's no curtains. There's no blinds. It's just, you can see it as clear as day. which is dangerous. And we had just moved in. There's boxes everywhere. The furniture's not even in place, but the TV was set up, and the couches were kind of set up. And I used to do this thing because when I was growing up, we only had two TVs in the house, one in the living room and my great grandmother's room. She had her TV, and I was watching Joe Bob Briggs, Monster Vision, and Night of the Living Dead was on. And as a kid, I was dumb enough to think zombies were going to get into the house after watching that stupid movie. So I had pushed all the boxes, all the furniture, everything against the door, the picture window. You couldn't see in. Like, no, 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 you're not getting in. Number two, again, Friday, Saturday nights, stayed up late. My grandparents used to go to bed by 10, so I'd have the TV until I went to bed. And when it was bedtime, turn off all the lights and run as quick as the flash to the bedroom, because a monster is going to get you if you stood there for too long. Number 93. What is the most outrageous lie I told as a kid? Most outrageous lie I told as a kid. Let me think about that one. Oh. Okay. Y'all don't think I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. It's 6th grade. I forgot to do homework. It was the first time I'd ever forgotten to do homework. And it was English class, and a lot of people didn't do homework that day. So she took us all into the principal's office, split us up into 2 groups, and made us call our family. Now, do you know what an answering machine was back then? It's not digital like it is now. There's little tapes that you put in there, and there's only so much room on a tape. So, my grandmother's voice is on the answering machine. She has a distinct voice. So the teacher heard the voice, went to the next room to make sure the other kid was calling, and I acted like I was talking to my grandmother. I left a voicemail on that tape. My grandmother didn't get home till about 4:30. My great-grandmother had already passed away. My grandfather didn't get home till much later, about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Got home, swapped the tapes. Told the teacher, I talked to my grandmother. I'm going to get in trouble when I get home. I felt bad. I felt terrible. But it was the one time I didn't do my homework. If it had been like a habitual thing, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I deserve to get in trouble. It was the one time. So, whatever. I think she's dead now. The teacher. What is the dumbest way I have injured myself? So, it's a Friday afternoon, and I had this wrestling belt, not this one. Yeah. That. That's weird. I have to point there to point at a belt. Anyways, and so it's a foam belt, and I smack my friend and grab it, and he's chasing me throughout the house. Remember how your parents tell you not to run through the house? I can tell you another story after this. It's even worse. So I turn around and I'm going to give him the middle finger like Vince McMahon did in wrestling. And I slip and I fall because my grandmother had mopped the kitchen floor. I'm talking about legs and feet went up in the air and bam on the table, or not the table, on the floor. And let me think about it. I hurt this arm. This arm got hurt. Number 2, my cousins. I have 2 female cousins. They have a little playhouse. This video's getting long, but hey, you know what? Watch in sections if you want to. Have a little playhouse, right? And I remember I was washing my hands at my cousin's house in the kitchen. Their mother was standing next to me, talking to me, and I hear my cousins come out of their little playhouse screaming. You're gonna think I'm terrible, but you had to be there. So me being the older, went to go check out and see what's going on. They have had this cat stuck in a Fisher Price oven. And the cat's mad. Like, it is, making all those terrible noises. The tail just... And so I shut the door. I go in there. I open it. And the cat's just in the corner like, Try me, dude. And so I went to go pet the cat. The cat bites through my thumb, through the nail, through the meat, all the way through. Bites me. I freak out. It hurts. The cat jumps on the windowsill, and I rear back to punt kick this cat through the window because I am beyond mad. It just bit through my finger. I didn't do nothing to the cat. The cat jumps out of the way. My foot goes through the window, and a nice glass shard goes right into my foot. Like, if this was your foot, right where it bends, and I have a nice little scar there now. Yes. Dumb ways to hurt yourself. Ta-da! Oy vey. I hated that. 95, if you could speak to one deceased person for 30 seconds, who and what would you say? I would want to talk to my great-grandmother because I would like to know if I made her proud. My great-grandmother took very good care of me. And she, I don't want to say worshiped the ground I walked on because that's kind of awful. When I came home from the hospital, she would sleep on the floor next to my crib because she didn't want anything happening to me. She watched after me like a hawk. But I would like to talk to her like, hey, did I turn out like you thought I would? Number 96, what is my definition of success? See, that's an opinion question. Success isn't always having the most money. I have a roof over my head. I have things, obviously, you can see. I have a loving wife. I don't have the best health, but I'm still here. I can eat, sleep, and grunt. I have friends. Obviously, I have 100 subscribers on YouTube. It's not a million or a billion or whatever. But that's 100 more than I ever thought I'd have. So, even if I never gained another subscriber, I did everything I set out to do. I hope I can make you laugh. I hope I can make a difference in your life. If you see my name pop up in your chat room or a comment or social media and it brings a smile to your face, then that's my definition of success. I want to leave a good mark on the world and inspire others to do the same. There's too much negativity in this world. Number 97, if your pet could talk, what would they think they say about you? Biscuit hates me. She is terrified of me for whatever reason. She's still getting used to us. Cookie would probably say she loves me. I tried to give her the best life I could. and I miss her greatly. Number 98. How has my perspective on the world changed over time? I used to be very angry at the world. I used to be a very, very, very dark person. And that person has changed a lot over time. I was very cynical. I was very negative. I was very hateful because of how the world did me. And like I said, you have two choices. You can be divisive or you can be thread. I want to heal. I want to heal. Here's the thing. And I don't, for some reason, I don't have a question 99, so I'm just going to take a little bit longer on this, or maybe make up a question. I don't know. People from the South get a bad rep. We're looked at as dumb. We're looked at as racist. We're looked at as a lot of things. Here's the. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about your background. I don't care what skin color you have. I don't care who you love. I want to know who you are. I want you to be a good person. I want to make a difference. I want you to make a difference. It's not, in this world, we all have our struggles, we all have our fights, and I understand that. I understand that there are a lot of racist people out there. I understand there's a lot of stupid, bigot people out there. But it's not you versus the world. You can look at me and you can say, oh, it's just another white guy. No. I have a story, I have a past too, but that doesn't define who I am. Maybe I try too hard to make sure other people don't have to suffer like I did, because I want everyone to be happy. But ultimately, what I want from you is to be a good person. Don't be bitter, don't be hateful, don't be all this. Just do what's right. Be the change, be the difference in this world where other people can be so negative, so hateful. Oh, you're right wing, you're left wing, you're white, you're black, you're Christian, you're atheist, you're all this, you're gay, you're straight. Let me tell you something. What is hate going to do except further divide us? You're a Christian, you're supposed to hate me. I don't hate you. You're white, you're supposed to hate black people. I don't. I just want to be friends. I just want to make a difference. I want to heal, not hurt. Why can't we? Well, boy gamers don't play with girl gamers. Why? Why? I have met people through this platform, Slonko Bomb, Omega Ace Gaming, The Great White North, Dr. Wolfula, Gamerthon Television, Checkpoint Television, Art Sensei, Not Another Game Collector, Mazin Power, E.C. Myers, Ron Moore, all these people from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, right? I don't want nothing from them except just to say, hey, how are you? How's life? How's it going? I don't need fame. I don't need a fortune. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happier than I've ever been. I have a wife. I have a house. I have a hamster. I have things. I have friends. Don't get me wrong. I do have friends here. But you can never have too many friends. But how's my perspective changed over time? I went from being a bitter person to a happy person. And I want you to be happy too. We just got to quit being at each other's throats. If you can change one life, and they can change one life, and so forth, I think we could make a better place. Don't you? If you can come to my channel, if you've had a bad day and you can come to my channel and you can laugh, you can forget about everything that's going on, it's all worth it. If you need a place to rant or come to, my DMs are open. I'm just a normal person. I'm not here to take over anything. I'm not here to overthrow or whatever. Just me. And number 100 says, let's do number 99 because now my OCD is kicking in. Number 99, that's a good question just off the fly. Favorite card game? Yu-Gi-Oh! There. Number 100, tell me your life story in one sentence. The best is yet to come. I think that's right. 100 subscribers, 100 questions. I'm looking at 111 minutes that I've opened up to you guys. 10 years ago, this never would have happened. I'm a very quiet, shy person, but if I don't take a chance on me, who will? I like to play games. I like to have fun. I just want us all to get along. I want to make friends. Because it's amazing how much smaller the world gets with social media when you can meet someone's like, hey, I like Ninja Turtles. I like Ninja Turtles too. Let's be friends. Hey, I played this growing up. I played this growing up too. Let's be friends. You know, one of the things is when Slonko Bomb Gaming was playing Donkey Kong Country 2, and she was doing a little cartwheel to go faster, right? And we were joking around with her. One of the things that came up is, do you press down on the D-pad when playing Pokemon to catch the Pokemon, right? Guess what? That doesn't do anything to catch Pokemon. It's just a myth that we all have in our heads. She is from a different part of the United States than me, and yet I did it. Other people did it. And that's the whole joke behind Cartwheel Club, is gamers from all different points of life, we do the same thing. We're the same people. You know? Like, I don't understand judging someone based off the color of their skin, or their gender, or whatever, because ultimately we're all the same. Aren't we? Aren't we? I mean, you know? Yeah, some people like horror, some people like love, some people like romances, I guess. Some people like action, some people like comedy. I mean, there are going to be differences. But in the end, let's just get along. I don't know. So, this was my 100 celebration video. It's not exactly how I wanted to record it, but time was against me. Originally, I was going to recreate the scene from the end of Iron Man, where he's taking questions and stuff at the end of the movie. I didn't get enough time to get everything together, unfortunately. So this is my 100 video, and I may save that for a different video later. But know this. There's no ulterior motive with me. It's just you and me having fun playing games. You don't have to be there, but if you are, I hope you enjoy the ride. And I hope to catch you. Like, I like to catch people's live streams. People like Triforce Gaming and stuff. I'm slowly getting to know them a little better, you know. But ultimately, let's support each other. And that's one thing I've been preaching. If I preach anything, is we have people who start OnlyFans that promote each other. Why can't streamers do it? Just because you may play the same game might not mean you play it the same way. You know, you might make different choices. I try to play games that get people to think about it. You know, like, oh, I'd like to try this game. Whatever. But again, if I can distract you and make your life a little bit more enjoyable, then my job's done. But I hope to get to know you better. Like I said, if you have any more questions I didn't get to answer, leave it in the comment. Um, if you'd like to let me know more about you, we can always talk. But this is the end of the video. I'm very thankful that we got to do this. Now I hope you get to know me a little better. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, leave a like. It's up to you. Free will, baby. But I hope you have a great rest of the week. I hope you have a great day. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.